von Mises does. Before I reference human action, I'm going to reference another one of von Mises' book, The Theory of Money and Credit, this one here. And towards the end, he talks about the choices that society has to make. And I think it's very pertinent to what's happening today. It's his concluding remarks on page 499. And he says, the present unsatisfactory state of monetary affairs is an outcome of the social ideology to which our contemporaries are committed, and of the economic policies which this ideology begets. People lament over inflation, but they enthusiastically support policies that could not go on without inflation. So what are these policies? And by inflation, of course, he means the expansion of money and credit. Rising prices are not inflation, as you should already know by watching my videos. They're the consequence thereof. Policies like government benefits, unemployment benefits. I know people pay into these things, but governments always skim off those payments. It's not a perfect insurance scheme. Military spending, government projects. What else? Buying that house you can't afford, taking that holiday you can't afford. Corporations buying back their stock. And how do they do that? By borrowing money cheaply, money that they don't have, so they can buy back their stock and make the price go up. So everyone's at it. Well, not everyone totally, of course. Hopefully you're not at it. While they grumble about the inevitable consequences of inflation, they stubbornly oppose any attempt to stop or to restrict deficit spending. Well, I couldn't have picked a better moment to look at this, because deficit spending here now is at 3.4 trillion, according to the US stat clock. We were already at $1 trillion before the crisis, and we're supposed to have had the best economy in the world or ever. And we're running in the US 5% budget deficits, but now we're running almost 20% equivalent. And the national debt is continuing to rack up here, 25.5 trillion now. The US national debt, the public debt. Before the crisis, the debt to GDP ratio was stuck around 106%. Now we're almost at 120%. So he continues, the suggested reform of the currency system and the return to sound monetary conditions presuppose a radical change in economic philosophies. There cannot be any question of the gold standard as long as waste, capital decumulation, and corruption are the foremost characteristics of the conduct of public affairs. It's what we got now. What do you think negative interest rates are? It's capital destruction or decumulation. It is waste. It is corruption. Where's the corruption? Well, the corruption is that the central banks are allowing governments to spend money they don't have. They are manipulating the cost of capital by printing money to buy assets, or QE, to keep interest rates low. That is the corruption. Cynics dispose of the advocacy of a restitution of the gold standard by calling it utopian. So this is the key part here for us. I think it's going to be important because it's the choice we have to make. He says, yet we have only the choice between two utopias. The utopia of a market economy not paralyzed by government sabotage on the one hand, and the utopia of totalitarian all-around planning on the other hand. That's the command economy. That's the road, unfortunately, it looks like we're going down right now. Hopefully, the coming devastation of the monetary system will make people realize we need to go to the market. But I'm not going to hold my breath. But at least we know the choices. The choice of the first alternative implies the decision in favor of the gold standard. So there you go. That would be the signal. If we go back to a kind of system, monetary system, that has some gold backing, it doesn't have to be a perfect gold standard, I think. It would be better. Then we could say that we're going down a good path.